All right. So I just got back from running around the bus 3 times, turned off all the lights. This is a Type 1 Transit with an automatic transmission, spring, and parking brake. I'm going to check to see what my needles are doing, to see whether I need to do a cut in or cut out. I can see my needles are moving, so I'm going to do an air governor cut out. It can cut out at no more than 130 psi. My needles have stabilized. My air governor cut out at 120 primary and 120 secondary. My next test will be my air governor cut in. It can cut in at no less than 85 psi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see my needles moving. My air governor cut in at 95 primary and 95 secondary. My next test is my static test. In order to perform the static test, I must have full tanks. So I'm going to go back to the cutout. My tanks are full. Now for my static test, I can lose no more than 2 psi within 1 minute period of time. I'm waiting for my needles to stabilize. My needles are stable. My minute starts now. For the static test, I'm checking for leaks in the tanks, the lines, and the one-way check valve. So when you're doing this, you're watching the needles, and every now and then you glance over at your watch.
Oh.
You don't watch your watch and neglect the needles. You can also do it on this. You can use this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my minute is up. I lost no air. My next test is my applied test. I can lose no more than 3 psi in 1 minute period of time. My needles are stable. My minute starts now. I'm checking for leaks in the tanks, the lines, the chambers, the diaphragm, the entire brake system.
Turn back on.
All right, my minute's up. I lost no air in my primary or secondary. My next test is my low air warning. It can activate at no lower than 60 psi. I can hear a buzzer and see a light. I hear a buzzer, I see a light. It activated at 65 psi primary and 65 psi secondary. My next test is my parking brake test. I have to have at least 100 psi in the tanks to perform this test. However, for safety, I'm going to go all the way to the cutout. While I'm waiting for my tanks to fill, I'll tell you about my last test, which is my service brake test. That's where I do 2 20-mile-per-hour stops prior to picking up any students. I want to make sure the bus doesn't pull to the left or to the right. If the bus pulls to the left or to the right, that means the brakes could possibly be out of adjustment, and I will take it back for service. Gear check, left interior, crossview right back to left. One hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the service brake, parking brake, sorry. Release, let it roll. Parking brake held, back to neutral. That completes my brake test.